Welcome back to Here's the Deal. Dakota's got his baby elephant, so all is right with the world. Right, buddy? Hey, I wanted to make this video because I wanted to highlight a point that we always make on this channel, and that is you don't need government. As a matter of fact, you would be better off without somebody stealing from you, threatening you, and brutalizing you every single day of the week. George Washington said, government is not eloquence, it is not reason, it is force. And like fire, it's a dangerous servant and a fearful master. But for some reason, people have in their minds that, no, we need government. Without government, how could we have roads, schools, bridges? How could we have clean running water? How could we have safe food and safe medical supplies without government? And I would say without government, we wouldn't have war. Without government, we would have a sound money system. Without government, we wouldn't be laying sanctions on other nations and stealing money from the tax cattle. We wouldn't even have tax cattle without government. And this video right here from Incite Edition just highlights another truth that we don't need government. Apparently, an iron worker fell from this bridge right here. This is the Ambassador Bridge. It connects Detroit with Canada. And the bottom of this bridge right here apparently is 150 feet off the water. And this iron worker falls from this bridge. Let me get out of the way here. Anyway, he falls from this bridge. Here's the guy right here. He's falling from this bridge and he lands in the water. Well, there are people in the park who saw him fall from the bridge into the water. And then they ran over to this owner of this company, this boating company. He's a captain of a boating company. He's not part of the Coast Guard. And they get his attention and they man the boats. This is the guy right here. They get into the boats and they drive their boat over to where this guy is and they pull him out of the water. Again, not Coast Guard, not government, not first responders, not EMTs. And they get this guy out of the water and he lives, he survives. I wanted to show you this guy has a little baby daughter and he's like, man, the last thing that flashed before my eyes before I hit the water was, I'm never going to see my daughter again. So I wanted to show you what this guy said right here.
Why was he wet and what happened to him over and over again? I said, you fell off a bridge.
The boat makes it back to shore with Baker, very lucky to be alive.
Imagine that, guys. 150 feet is like a half a football field straight down.
He's breathing.
He's since been released from the hospital after suffering a few broken bones.
Look at the frickin' bruises on this guy. He is totally lucky to be alive, but he's not alive because government saved him. As a matter of fact, I saw a couple people dealing with that incident that happened. I can't remember what state it was in, but the cops dogpiled this guy and snapped off his leg literally to where it was hanging by flesh. He ended up just losing his leg, I think, from the knee down. So it reminded me of that saying, government will break your leg, hand you a taxpayer-funded crutch and say, see, without the government, you wouldn't be able to walk. Well, this guy did not need government. And in many cases, in all cases, we can solve our problems without calling on Big Daddy government. Because when you call on Big Daddy government, what are you actually calling for? You're calling for the funding of Big Daddy government because you can't have a government without funding. And where do they get their funding? They get their funding from taxes. What is taxation? Taxation is theft. Theft by any other name is still theft. When you take money, which is the value or the product of your time and laboring energies. When you take money from somebody else who doesn't want that money taken from them, what is that called? It's called theft. Well, what if we call it taxation? What if we call it theft? It's all the same. Taxation, extortion, and theft. Actually, that's what taxation is. Taxation is extortion because it's done by the barrel of a government gun. So do we need government? Can we build safe bridges without government? Can we pave roads without government? Can we have, the public school system needs to be defunded anyway. We've got children that are stupider than any other nation in the entire world. And why is that? Remember the food pyramid? It was created in 1974 in Norway, and it came online in 1979 in America. The lion's share of the food that they wanted you to eat was mostly carbohydrates. So they actually created a nation full of type 2 diabetics because they took the advice of the government. Do you realize we would be healthier today if people didn't follow the food pyramid from the 1970s, which ended up getting revised? I think they had said that initially 6 to 11 servings of carbohydrates. That's, bread, rice, grains, and only 2 to 3 servings of meat. And it was completely upside down. So what the government told you back then, this is how you should eat, the exact opposite was true, because what they gave you, what they fed you, what they tried to cram down your throat was a bunch of BS.
And a lot of bruises. Here he is with his 4-month-old daughter.
I remember falling, and I was just thinking that this is it, man. My life's over. I'm never going to get to see my daughter again.
That's pretty crazy. So I just wanted to show you, you know what? We can do it without government. And if we try to kid ourselves and try to embed our brains in the land of illusion and delusion and think that government, our big daddy, is our savior, then we've got to question ourselves and find out where our compass is, our moral compass is, and readjust our moral compass. Because I can't think of anything more immoral than a man wanting to govern or rule over another man. What if you don't want to be ruled? Can you opt out of government? The most dangerous superstition is this idea that somebody has the right to rule you and you have the obligation to obey their rulership or you will be punished. And that's why when you give men power, when you give men badges, for example, and uniforms and a utility belt, and tell them that they now have the authority of the state, they have more, essentially, they have more rights than the rest of us, such fantastic rights that there's something called qualified immunity. And then you get Terry v. Ohio from 1968. And then you give these officers the power and the right to pull you over and extract you from the car, like Pennsylvania v. Mims, because of officer safety. See, that's what Pennsylvania v. Mims and Terry v. Ohio boils down to, is officer safety trumps individual rights. Guys, nothing trumps individual rights. And they are hypocrites and they are liars to actually say, yeah, we believe in Pennsylvania v. Mims over the Fourth Amendment right to be secure in a person's house's papers and effects. We believe in Terry v. Ohio versus you being able to just travel down the road freely, unmolested, without being harassed by a government agent. So I just wanted to show you, it can be done. We can build roads, schools, bridges, have clean running water without this group of people who are out there brutalizing and harassing and victimizing and caging and kidnapping the rest of us. And that's the inherent, ironic, self-contradictory problem with government or statism. It's this brilliant idea that we give a small group of people the right to kidnap, imprison, harass, steal from, and kill people so that we can be protected from those who kidnap, imprison, harass, and kill people. It's absolutely ridiculous. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comment section below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. And don't forget to subscribe to my private email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. If you want to, you can support the channel. The links are in the description. Become a channel member today. Grab a hard-hitting conversation starting design you can get from the store. You can put on a shirt, hoodie, mug, cell phone case, pillowcase, whatever you want. The price of freedom is now and will always be eternal vigilance, and indifference to this notion is the means by which the people have and will secure their own oppression. I will see you in the next video.